Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Psychic Diaries, which you can see on veryparanormal.com. My name is Michael Lamport, and I am the producer of the hit TV series Rescue Mediums. And with me is Jackie Dennison, who is the host of the show Rescue Mediums, which is in the paranormal vein. And we are so lucky to have with us today and ask some very interesting questions about is Steph Such. And she, well, I'm going to let her explain what it is she does. It's beyond quantum something or other. The only thing I know is quantum physics. So hi, Steph. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
So can you outline and explain, it's beyond quantum healing. Can you explain what it is?
Okay, it's a wonderful healing, advanced healing modality. It's so powerful and so natural. Beyond quantum healing is slightly different from quantum healing hypnosis technique. And I can tell you more about that if you want me to explain more about
yes,
that.
Please. Yes, please. What is quantum healing? Hypnosis healing? Because we need to know what one is in order to know what the other is. So yeah,
okay.
Please.
So it was originally come across by a wonderful lady called Dolores Cannon, and she came across it purely by chance. Her husband was learning hypnotherapy, and she would sit, I mean, this is going back a long, long time ago, and she would sit next to him kind of recording sessions for clients. And what happened purely by chance is a client went into a past life and she found it fascinating. I mean, she had no, she wasn't wanting to go into hypnotherapy or anything like that. It was her husband's, but she found this fascinating. So she kind of went down that path. So what she then started doing was hypnotizing clients to past lives. Okay. And she felt that she was almost like an investigator. Okay. So yeah, quantum healing hypnosis technique came about by that because it's extremely healing, because it's more than past life regression. So initially you do go to kind of past lives, you do explore past lives, but more importantly, what it is you're shown parts of past lives that are pertinent to your life today, which can help you with your life today. You also can be taken to maybe a healing temple or the Akashic records. You are taken to the most relevant time and space for you, for your healing. So it isn't just kind of like a past life regression. It is, what we do is we have some stages to kind of get into that state where we invite in both of our, as the client and the facilitator, both of our higher selves, our angels, our guides, ascended masters, us as ascended masters from the future, even, to come together for us both to do this.
No, so you, in your practice then, as you go into the past life regression, which I know you're saying isn't the center of it, but do you feel that our past lives have a very strong bearing on current day healing?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and that can be in lots of different ways. So this is really a modality for healing on all levels. So with it being called quantum, it's multidimensional. So multidimensional healing, whether that's emotional, physical, spiritual. I was listening to a recorded session yesterday, and it was a lady who she couldn't speak her truth in this lifetime. She just couldn't voice her own truth. And then she was shown a past life where she had the courage to speak her truth, and she got in a lot of trouble for it. So she vowed in that lifetime to never ever speak a truth again. So that's come through the lifetimes and is affecting her today.
Wow.
So in conversations, kind of, you know, that's come from the higher self as well. And in conversations, it was like, okay, so now she understands it. Is it safe now to release this? Is it safe now for her to be able to speak a truth? Yes, it is. So it makes huge changes. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And you don't always go to past lives. You know, it could be, you could go to a future life, you could go to a parallel life. I've had clients where they're an energy, and they're going through dimensions as an energy. And they can see angels and all sorts. It's wonderful. So it's just, you know, it's not necessarily going to a previous life.
Yeah, it's interesting that, because a friend of mine, we were doing a meditation together, and she experienced that during the meditation. In fact, it scared her a little bit because she didn't understand it. She said it was literally off the planet.
Yeah.
And there she was. She said, floating around like everywhere with all of these galaxies and energy that she didn't understand. And so it frightened her a little bit because she didn't understand it. And then when she came back and out of the meditation, that's when she went, oh my God, can I go back? I don't know if she ever did go back, but yeah, so I presume it was something like that. Michael and I did a past life regression with, I'm only going to say a female, because I don't want to repeat her name, but she is very sort of very, very well thought of in the broadcasting business, at quite a high level in the broadcasting business. And I regressed her, and she was in outer space. Do you remember, Michael? She just said, I'm in outer space, I don't know where I am, and I don't understand it. And I said, well, you know, you must have been traveling in. And of course, with the kind of work that I do, past life work, try to get evidence so that they can go and research it and find out where they've been. Because couldn't really get, what do you do? Go to NASA and have a look at NASA. See what NASA can tell you. But so I understand the theory of that.
It's lovely, isn't it? Sorry, I recently had a client, and he was going through the galaxy. He was just, and I mean, he won't mind me talking about it at all. And you know, it was just, he got his eyes closed and he was just wow all the time. This is phenomenal. And he was going through very fast as an energy. And then when we spoke about it after, and asked his higher self why he was shown that, and he was showing it for the lovely experience, but also to maybe slow down a little bit, because he was you know, he was going through it.
Sorry, is it a form of astral traveling?
Really thought of it like that, Michael. I think the only way I think of it is you are taken to the place that you need to be taken to, which relates to something in your life today that can help you and can heal you. Yeah.
And when you do that, Steph, do you experience a similar thing that the client does in any way?
Sometimes you can kind of feel an energy in your body. It's lovely, but not really, because I'm kind of fully present, because the clients are in like a theta state. So it's kind of a nice relaxed hypnotic state. So, you know, I've got to keep my eye on them and look after them and guide them really as the facilitator. But you can kind of get a sense when they're talking to you and kind of feel that energy. It's really exciting. It is. It's lovely to be able to do. Yeah.
What's the difference with beyond? Because you said beyond.
Oh yes. So Dolores Cannon, who originally came across it, and she's passed away now, sadly, and her daughter, she carries on with the training and the teaching. So the difference is as far as I know, is that the Dolores's, the QHHT, is quite scripted, and you don't really deviate from the script.
Right.
One of the biggest differences is, so sorry, the BQH, it's the facilitator is allowed to use their intuition. Okay, and also any modalities that they're trained in as well, that they think is going to help and assist, they can use that. So the lady who set up the BQH, which is Candice Crow-Goldman, I think her name is, if I've got that the right way around, she worked with Dolores. She did the live workshops and the trainings, and as far as I know, she came about the Beyond purely just to move it on a little bit, because Dolores was an older lady. She wouldn't allow it to be anything other than in person. She didn't like computers. She didn't like the technology and stuff. And Candice, somebody wanted a session who was very poorly in hospital. So with the QHHT method, that wouldn't have been okay, because it was insisted that it was in person. Now, this lady was really poorly and couldn't have a visitor to go in and do it. So the only way that it could be done would be kind of like this. And Candice did it, and it was a very successful session. So she's kind of opening up that way. So the Beyond Quantum Healing can be done worldwide. All we need is Zoom, and all the clients need is a headset with a microphone and kind of like the screen placed where I can see them. And it's actually more beneficial to do it that way, because if you think about it, the client is in their own home. Quite often they're lying on the bed or in the bed with the pillows and the cushions. They're relaxed. You know, if somebody's kind of rushing to a session, rushing in the traffic, and they, you know, all new surroundings, you're not quite as relaxed, whereas you are completely relaxed in your own home.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you, Steph, when did you first get involved in any sort of psychic realm whatsoever? What was your first experience?
Okay, so I came across a book about angels at the end of 2012. Now, I have never ever any books, anything like that before. I've kind of gone, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And I was in a local charity shop buying some Christmas cards, and I had a quick look at the books, and this book kind of jumped out with kind of angels and stuff, and I was intrigued. Something would kind of got my interest, and then I thought, oh no, I don't know whether I like anything like that. And I went to walk out the door, and I got to the door, and something made me go back and get it. And I got it, and I absolutely devoured it. And when I was reading it, I felt like the world made sense. I felt like my whole life made sense. And I knew I was reading it for a purpose, because my brother was poorly. And I felt that I was reading it because he was going to pass away. And it was a comfort. And he did pass away January of 2013. And I don't know what I'd have done without that. I really don't know what I'd have done without that. So that kind of, that opened up everything for me. So initially I got into everything angelic and went on workshops and, you know, Facebook groups and things like that. And I love the angelic realm. That's what I really resonate with.
Who do you think was wanting you to get that book? Did you have a sense of anybody, or it was just like an overwhelming sense you had to go and get it?
It was, I just had to have it. I just had to go and get it. So, you know, initially you've got that little battle, I don't know, anything like that. But that kind of, that overcame that. And it was,
I do that with wine. The wine always wins.
Yeah, we always give in.
So that was amazing, and that my life's changed so much from that. And what kind of happened next was you kind of meet people, don't you, on these workshops, and that opens your world, because you become friends on Facebook, and you can see who they're friends with. And through a lady that I met on a workshop in Buxton, I met another lovely lady who does readings and channelings, light language, and all kind of stuff like that. And I had a reading with her, and I'd never ever had a reading, kind of, you know. And that stuff kind of used to think, ooh, I don't know if I like that, but I mean, I love it now. And and the reading absolutely changed my life.
Yeah.
And she told me in the reading that I will be doing quantum healing. So I did kind of change careers. So I am a trained hypnotherapist, and I'm just finishing up a training for a psychotherapist. So although you don't have to be a trained hypnotherapist to do this, and she says you'll be doing that. And then she said, oh, the saying, it has to be beyond quantum healing. And I didn't get that until I kind of re-listened to it, and I was kind of writing everything down. I thought, oh, I don't even know what quantum healing is. And then when she says it has to be beyond, I thought, So I kind of started Googling all that, and, you know, and then next thing I thought, well, I better have a look at this, and loved it. Yeah, loved it.
What we could do now, this is up to you, Steph, is if you were to do a session with either Michael or myself, or with someone else, and we record it. Obviously, if it's with someone else, it would have to be permission. They would have to get permission for this to go out, and we wouldn't show the whole session. We'd just show little bits of the session.
That'd be good.
To show what you do, to show how beneficial it can be. So
I've seen some sessions. I mean, I've not experienced this myself in a session, but I've seen some where the client will just start speaking light language, and on the technology, you can kind of feel, well, you can hear the energy coming through the technology as well. It kind of starts buzzing a little bit, and the client starts speaking light language.
Light language, enlighten me.
Oh, light language.
Yes.
Oh, well, the lady that I had the reading with, she had kind of a Facebook group. I'd never heard anything like it in my life before. And she light language, it's kind of like, I suppose it's very similar to kind of in religions, that's speaking in tongues. So it sounds like a kind of a real babble, like a totally different language. And there's no way you could make it up. No way you could just kind of sit and make it up. It has to. And I was talking to a lovely guy about it on Saturday, and he says you can feel it coming up. You can feel it coming up from here up to your heart, and as though it's just gotta come out. But it's very healing for the person doing it, and very healing for the people listening to it.
I've never heard of that before. I've done this for a long time, and I've never heard of that before, ever. No,
Jackie, I'll send you some. She actually, the girl, this lovely Shanina name is who had a reading with. She was on this morning, and she says, I haven't done this for ages, but this is kind of what I feel I want to do. And she did some light language.
Right. Well, you see, learn something new every day. I'm going to make a note of that, light language.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to do it, and I hope it'll come.
What do you feel the purpose is of that, of the client experiencing that?
I think sometimes I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how healing. I mean, it is not healing for the client because it's kind of coming through, and it's really kind of pure and heartfelt. And as far as I know, because I don't know an awful lot about it. I think it can release. It's beneficial to those who listen to it, as in it can activate parts of the people who listen to it, whatever that is. And I'm not sure, I might be making this up, but I kind of think it can do something to your DNA. I'm not sure.
That's so weird, because I've just written DNA down. That's what I wrote down, DNA.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally just wrote it down before, right at the bottom of the notes, DNA.
Love it.
Yeah.
How uncanny is that, Jackie?
I know. It must be them lot upstairs going, write it down. You're going to need to know it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that you can self-hypnotize. Do you think that you can do this practice, like just for yourself? Have you ever done it for yourself, gone beyond the quantum thing?
Oh, whether I've done it to myself?
Yeah.
I've never even thought of doing that. I have had a session, but I've never thought of doing it for myself. I suppose you probably could. However, because there's different stages to it. So, do you want me to tell you about the stages?
Take us through the stages. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the session is, the Beyond Quantum Healing. It can be like a good 3, 4, 5 hours, and I think the QHH. Yeah, and I think the QHHT, the original one, I think they can do up to like 7 hours. So it starts off with kind of kind of what they call an interview, but it's kind of just getting to know that person and like the key people in their lives. And then we do a water alchemy part where we set our intention, because the Beyond Quantum Healing is very intention and heart based. So we set an intention for the session, and we have some water, and we place our hands over the water, and we put our intention into the water, and then we take a sip. So that's the second part, and then we do what's called a heart coherence. So we place our hands on our heart, and we kind of connect our heart to our breath, and then we do the wonderful what we call the induction. So that's kind of starting off, taking you through that journey, inviting all our teams in, and kind of starting on that journey, and kind of seeing where you're shown, where you're taken to. So that's just a part of it. So the kind of the past lives or future lives, parallel lives, or even current lives, you can be shown a particular scene in a current life. That's to kind of show you something, to, like a lesson or something. I've had that. So that's just a part of it. The actual healing can take place after that. So we're shown, we go through however many we want to, really, however many, we think. And if they say, no, that's it, that's it. And then what we do then is we invite the client's higher self, or angels or guides or whoever's there, to answer a list of questions that the client has brought with them to the session. Okay, now that could be anything related to their lives, any questions on, I don't know, careers, relationships, why do I always behave in this way, why have I got this pattern always happen in my life, why have I got this illness, why am I suffering from this, even to kind of, should I move across the country? I'm thinking, you can ask anything. So I usually say about 10 questions, because they can kind of lead on. And we ask the higher self to come through, and the higher self answers these questions. Absolutely. Yeah,
now, how do you bring people back? Like, for example, some people listening to this may be like, oh my God, I'm going to go off into a galaxy or something, but like, how do people come back from that experience or that state?
So when you're in the theta state, the brainwave state, so it's a natural state that we all go into every day. So it's not a sleep state at all. So we go into it naturally every day. So say when you're driving your car and you get somewhere and you think, oh my gosh, I can't even remember going around that roundabout or through them traffic lights. Because what happens is your subconscious mind takes over. So it's almost like a daydream that we go into a lot. Sometimes when you're immersed in a book and the time just flies, you've gone into that kind of state anyway. So you are fully aware at all times. So quite often what happens is the client will need a toilet break, and they'll just say, I just need to go to the toilet, which is really good because it's releasing stuff. Okay, it can be releasing all sorts of kind of emotions or toxins or whatever. So it is welcomed. And then as soon as they come back, we just say, okay, and now I'll go count to 3 or 4, whatever, and you'll be back where you're meant to be. And they just close their eyes in the back there. So it's not, the client is fully aware at all times. So that's why it's safe to do it online, because the client always has that awareness. In fact, with hypnosis anyway, hypnotherapy, quite often later on, that conscious mind, that critical mind can come in and go, yeah, but was I really hypnotized? Was I? Am I just making it up?
Yeah.
And that's really common. But you are fully aware, and that's why it's safe to do it.
Parallel lives. How do you explore a parallel life?
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest here, Jackie. I haven't actually had a parallel life with a client, but I do know that you know, to all this kind of stuff that the groups that I'm on, I know clients can be taken to a parallel life. They can also experience life as an object.
What?
So, yeah. One of the kind of the ladies who I follow, when she very first had her session, she was a flower or a plant or something. Or
wow.
somebody else was a rock. I know it sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
No, I'm sorry. I'm taking in a lot of what you said, and I hold with a lot of. But no, I'm a little teapot. Don't stop me. I'm sorry.
You're not having that.
That doesn't sit with me at all.
I don't get that, to be honest, and I've never experienced that with a client.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that with a client, but that is with the training, and also is kind of on other planets and other dimensions, and or as an ET lives as that. So
now I can take that on board.
Oh, you're all right with that one.
Yeah, because it's energy. I'll tell you why I can take it on board. Because it's energy. I mean, there is more to life than what we can see with the naked eye, as we know, or what we hear, because there's so many different dimensions. And I'm in no way trying to ridicule what you've just said at all. It's just, you know, and everybody should take their own. Everybody should experience this so that they can make their own assumptions. I know that there are universal energies out there that you can connect to, because I personally have connected. So I know that, and you can call them aliens or whatever label is on there. And I understand past life work and future life parallel even. I've never gone there like you. I don't know. I've experienced some of it, but not entirely. But with an object, no. However, I will say I have encountered energy that has been contained in an object.
Oh.
Where we've had, Michael knows exactly, that's why he's nodding, he knows exactly what I'm going to say. Because spirit energy who have passed on can become attached to an object. And then you have to separate the object, the energy from the object. Yeah. But it's usually something that has belonged to someone, that has a lot of meaning to someone, or there's a story to tell about it. So rather than that person being that object, it's a focus for them to attach to.
I get that. Yeah,
you know, so that. Like we had a haunted doll, Michael, do you remember?
Yes, I do.
We had the haunted doll, and it was a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
And we found that the attachment was to this doll, and every time you went near the doll you could feel this energy attached. So the doll wasn't suddenly going to move. The doll wasn't going to go, hello, my name is. It wasn't going to do that. but I would have freaked out, so would Michael. We would have all run, I think, if that had happened. but the energy was attached to it, so there was.
Oh my God!
Energy.
I'm terrified of little dolls.
Dolls and clowns he does not like, you know. So and we've had attachments to picture frames as well. So there was an Icarus picture, there was an attachment to, but there's a story behind each one. So that bit I can take.
Yes. But actually being an object.
Yeah, being an object, no, I can't. No. I wouldn't see the purpose in it. Why would you want to be a rock?
I don't know. I mean, I thought that when I kind of did my training and kind of read up on that, and I've never experienced it with a client. Yeah. Do you know, it's funny when you talk about attachments, Jackie, because he's got his cup of tea. There are some practitioners who do experience attachments to people in the session. Yeah. And which is affecting their lives today. Now, all different practitioners have kind of different opinions on it. You know, And I don't know whether that's kind of also the practitioner is kind of, focusing on that. So these people kind of come to them, if you know what I mean, where there's other practitioners who are like, no, I don't believe in that. So they never come across it. But when you kind of said attachment, and there's a couple who are trained in this, but they've kind of gone off and done their own little kind of modality in a way that kind of focuses and helps people in that way as well.
You know what? At the end of the day, if this helps people, no matter what individuals' opinions are, that's got to be the way forward, hasn't it? You know, for whatever reason. I mean, with the object thing, like with the flower or whatever, to me, that's so symbolic. It's about growth. It's about new growth and planting the seed for the future. That's how I see flowers or trees, you know, or with the energy with the rock. It's the energy contained within, and that will have connected to the earth's energy. So we've got, those grounding skills that I can understand, that I can make sense of. And so I would, if that was given to me in that way, a person was to think that they were a flower, I would take that very symbolically as they're part of their spiritual journey. But that's just my interpretation of it.
Absolutely, and that makes total sense, Jackie. To think someone says I'm a rock, I kind of think, well, what's the purpose? What's the purpose in that? What lessons can you learn? What journey are you going to have?
I think what you're saying, Steph, is really true also about certain people are attracted to certain practitioners of what you do because there is a specialty. Like, I mean, when you said that, I thought of, if I had an accident and broke my arm, I wouldn't go get a colonoscopy. And that wouldn't work.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny that those who kind of think about that, and I don't know whether you almost kind of, whether that's meant to be, whether you kind of attract them kind of clients who bring that because that's what you believe in. Whereas others who are like, oh no, I've never had a client like it, and I don't really believe in that. They never kind of come across it, although they are trained in it to recognise it. Kind of, should it? Yeah, but it's fascinating, really, how some people get a lot of clients with it, and some who've done it for years and years have never had one.
Yeah. And you bring counselling as well into what you do, don't you?
Well, that's kind of different. That's kind of I do. In my counselling job, we use lots of different techniques. It's in a therapy room, that is where I work. So that's counselling, and then we bring hypnotherapy into that because we're working on your unconscious mind, which is really powerful. And we're trained in a few different techniques to help the client. This is kind of something that is a little bit different.
Other people believe in this sort of thing and also psychic stuff and everything, but not enough open themselves up to accept it. And stuff like what you're doing, because you can go anywhere, online, I think is really beneficial. Realize, that there is a kind of healing. It's not always just medicine or Chinese herbs or something. There's another kind of healing that you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so powerful. It really is powerful. And so natural.
Yeah.
It sounds very, very relaxing, actually.
Yeah.
Very chilled, very, very chilled. We like very chilled, don't we, Michael?
I like very chilled. And I think because the session's recorded as well, the healing continues because you can listen to it, and each time you listen to it again, you'll hear stuff that you can't remember, maybe, or you know, like you do when you re-listen. So the healing continues with your recording.
That's really good.
I like it. I really
I'd
like
like to experience that sort of peace when I'm sitting in a dentist chair. That would be my personal.
I hypnotise you for that one, Michael. I use my hypnosis for that one. You won't feel any pain.
Oh, Steph, it's been great talking to you today. You are a fascinating personality, and I would highly recommend anybody to try this beyond quantum healing technique, because it sounds real. It does sound really beneficial and very relaxing, and also, yeah, exciting about where we've come from, where we're going to, you know, being comfortable with yourself, and that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Been wonderful. Bye, Steph.
Bye.